Hello, I am here with the new pony. Allow you to kind of get to know him a bit, because I talked about him a bit in my preparing for my new horse video, and then obviously a bit in bringing my new horse home. But I have yet to really actually for real talk about him. So here he is. His name is Zuko. I have not his registered name. I can put it up on screen here, but it's something I don't know. It's just a bunch of letters, okay? So I am not going to be calling him that. He's named after Prince Zuko from Avatar, because I'm a nerd. So hypothetically, if we ever were to show, he could be called Prince Zuko, but that's kind of cheesy, but I don't know. Hypothetically. He is an 11-year-old Arab rescue. I say rescue because he is a rescue. He was a stud for a very long time, hence why he is registered. Most rescues, it's they were probably backyard bred, and not to shame those horses, but just that is the truth. They were probably backyard bred. So he is registered. He has bloodlines. He has all the good things, and he was used as a stud for quite a long time, where pretty much his whole life was, I live in a stall, I go out, have fornications with a lady to get her pregnant. He was a live whatever it's called, he did things in person, and then he went back in the stall, so he has some anxiety with stalling. And then other than that, he also, after that, was part of a neglect case, where pretty much the people that were running that just kind of stopped and let him sit in a stall for a very, very long time. When he arrived at the rescue I got him from, he was a body scale of 1. If you don't know what a body scale of 1 is, it's incredibly, incredibly emaciated and skinny. So because he was a stud and because of his past, he was not gelded until 10 years old. So less than a year ago, this horse was gelded. So that is where a lot of his heightened energy comes from. However, in the past, he has been turned out with mares and geldings, and has lost a good majority of his stud-ish behavior. So hypothetically, that should also be the case again. Hypothetically, he should be turned out with mares and geldings here, no problem, knock on wood. But hi. So yeah, that's a little bit about him, of his history. So obviously that is kind of one of the reasons why a lot of people were not very interested in necessarily adopting him, simply because he was this just kind of ball of energy, and Arabians are already avoided because of the stereotypes around them being high energy and such, very similar to the off-track thoroughbreds. So yeah, he's just a cool dude. He's very anxious. I mean, understandably so. Most people with trauma have anxiety throughout later in life. He is a horse with trauma, and therefore he has developed anxiety. I dealt with that with Galileo and Bonham and all the other horses, so I am drawn to anxious horses. However, something about his anxiety is underneath it, there is a beautiful layer of curiosity, which is what makes me so intrigued about him. Hi. But he was very clearly bred for dressage. He was, once again, bred with quality. And his movement is beautiful. He has been started under saddle very, very minimally. He has some walk and trot work bareback with the rider. But there are quite a lot of things I need to work on before getting on this horse. Just along the lines of along the lines of, pretty much everything I did with Galileo. There's so much in hand work to do. There's so many things of he didn't know how to put a halter on. There are just things where the first step number 1, before we even think about getting on, is getting him to be a normal horse. That is step 1. And then after that, then we can think about okay, maybe getting on one day. He still needs to see this. He needs to see the saddle fitter, the dentist, and the farrier all within the next month. So those are fun appointments you have to schedule. So pretty much as a whole, he is just a very, very intriguing individual. And I think there were a lot of comments and like, wow, you moved on from Galileo really fast, like praising me, not being like rude or anything. But I think it was really just I was really, really hesitant. I rejected a lot of horses. And eventually I met him, and I like texted my trainer and I was like, this is it. This is the one. I know. Of course there was doubt because like I had a horse and things didn't go well. He had a mysterious injury that led to me needing to go to the hospital. Like there are different things where of course I would have some hesitation, but with him it was just all like, yes, I can breathe. I feel comfortable with this horse. Those of you that have been following me for like years, if you remember when I first did stuff with Bonham back in like 2017, 2018, they act incredibly similar. So I think it's a lot of things of just like traits of other horses that I know and recognize that I can play off of. And other than that, you're like, Maggie, why is this horse wearing a halter? As I said, so when I got there today, I was like, oh yeah, I find it dangerous to trailer a horse in a rope halter, so I'm going to change that, just like to myself. So I brought over my halter and I put it on, and he was like, absolutely not. And he like backed up and spooked, and I was like, oh, okay, that was weird. So I used positive reinforcement. I clicked at each step. I unlatched the halter. Like, it was all good. But I was still like, that was a super big reaction for having like a halter on. So like I brought him back into the arena and I was like, yeah, like and then everyone was like, oh, you got a halter on him. And I was like, yes, I did. And he, so it turns out that, he had that halter on since, April when he was seized by the police. So fun times. So he's had that halter on since April when he was seized by the police, and so it had to be cut off of him. There are just like little things like that I anticipate to keep finding that happen with all types of horses, but with rescues specifically, that they are just there are things that you don't even think of, where it's like with other horses you can just walk out and you can be like, pat, 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 nice to see you, but with him, not so much. There are like things you have to work for and steps you have to do. He is 15 hands. Can I walk by you, bud? So you can see I am just about 5'4". Oh, hey, it's good. I'm just about 5'4", and his wither is here, just right about at my like chin. He's decent. He's right about in the middle for Arabs.
Okay, so I do have to stop myself here because he was adopted out to me as a 15-hand horse, but like looking at that clip and like looking at a difference between me standing next to Galileo, who was a 16-hand horse, versus me standing next to this horse, like, oh, this horse is small. So I'm assuming it is a little bit closer to either like 14.2, 14.3, somewhere around there, but he's definitely not 15.
He has good hooves. He's barefoot, as all of my horses always will be. He will be getting 1/4 of a scoop of Healthy Edge a day, because that one I had to ask my trainer for, because I'm used to feeding thoroughbreds who eat like 2 scoops a day. Sorry. I'm used to feeding thoroughbreds that eat like 2 scoops a day. Hi. Okay. This horse is not a thoroughbred, so I was like, I don't know what the heck to feed you. Really want to see, I'm so excited to see how, he turns out. Cause he is just like, he's definitely going to be a project. He's going to be a hard project. I'm admitting it now. This is going to be difficult, but he has so much potential. He has so much potential, and I'm so excited to see where we can go together. All right. I think that is all. If you want more updates, you can follow me on Instagram at The Unique Equine. Other than that, I will post here just around every week, sometimes twice a week. I'm feeling spicy. And then I think that is all. Per usual, there are COVID links and Black Lives Matter resources in the description if you are interested in seeing any of those. And I think that is all. You can anticipate seeing Zuko like all of the time from now on, considering he is my horse. And yeah, I'm just super excited. All right. Bye, guys. See you next time.